Sometimes life changes in the most unexpected way. Sometimes a stranger becomes your shelter. Sometimes kindness becomes love. And sometimes what begins as survival becomes the most beautiful healing. This is my story. My name is Emma Collins. I am 26 years old. I live in a big, busy city where people walk fast, talk fast, and rarely look at each other. The city is full of lights, but my life was dark. My life before him. I work as a small street artist, not the kind of artist people admire in galleries. I paint simple things, flowers on cafe windows, small signs for shop doors, pretty designs on walls. It is hard work, and the money is never enough. I live alone in one tiny rented room, no family, no friends, just silence. My parents died when I was young. I had no brothers or sisters. No one waited for me. No one asked if I was okay. My room was simple, one bed, one chair, one table. In summer it was too hot. In winter the cold felt like it entered my bones. Most days I ate rice and bread, sometimes soup, if I was lucky. Some nights I skipped dinner. Not because I wanted to, but because I had to. Sometimes I cried quietly in the dark. But every morning I still woke up. I still worked. That was my life. Until one rainy day, everything changed. One cold morning, I was painting the window of a small cafe downtown. Rain soaked my jacket. My fingers were numb. I was almost finished when the cafe door opened. A man walked in. He had silver hair and wore a long dark coat. He looked about 70. He moved slowly, like someone carrying many years on his shoulders. He sat near the door and watched the rain fall. Then he looked at me. I quickly turned away. I didn't want conversation. I only wanted to finish my work. When I cleaned my brushes, the man stood up. He walked toward me. His voice was calm. "You look exhausted," he said gently. I gave a small, awkward smile. "It's just a long day," I whispered. He nodded. "You work harder than most people I know," he said. Then he walked away. That was all, just a few words. But something about them stayed in my heart. The next day I was painting another wall near the same cafe, and again I saw him. He smiled when he noticed me. I didn't understand why. Later he came outside holding a cup. He placed it carefully in my hands. "Hot tea," he said. "It will warm you." I blinked in surprise. No one had ever done something like that for me. "Thank you," I whispered. He only smiled. Then he walked away into the rain. The tea was sweet. And for the first time in a long time, my chest felt warm too. After that, he came often, sometimes with tea, sometimes with bread, once with a small bouquet of flowers. "They're from my garden," he said softly. His name was Arthur Bennett. He never asked personal questions. He never pushed. He never made me uncomfortable. He was simply kind. Slowly I began waiting for him. I found myself looking toward the cafe door again and again. When he arrived, something inside me softened. He was much older than me. He could have been my grandfather. But his eyes were gentle. Not cold, not judging, just kind. One afternoon, Arthur sat beside me outside the cafe. His face looked serious. "Emma," he said, "I want to talk to you." My hands became cold. "You live alone," he continued. "You work so hard. Life is heavy for you. I stared at the ground. I didn't know what to say. Then he spoke again. I want to help you. I looked up, confused. Why? I asked quietly. His voice became softer. Because I see you, he said, and I care. Then he stood up. Please think about it, and he left. That night I sat in my tiny room thinking no one had ever said they cared about me. No one had ever looked at me like I mattered. The next day, Arthur came again. This time, he handed me a white envelope. Please read this, he said. Then he walked away. My heart raced. I waited until night. Then I opened it. Inside was a letter. His writing was neat and careful. He wrote that he wanted to help me. He could pay for my rent. He could help with food. And then my hands began to shake. He wanted to marry me. Marriage, I couldn't sleep. Was this real? Was it love? Or was it pity? Life had been so hard, and now someone was offering safety. The next afternoon, Arthur stood outside the cafe again. Rain fell softly. I held the letter tightly. I read it. I whispered. He waited. My voice trembled. I will marry you. For a moment he didn't move. Then his eyes softened. Thank you, Emma, he said quietly. No hug, no kiss. Just two people standing in the rain, trying to understand what life was becoming. A month later we had a small wedding. No big party, no family, only a few of his old friends. I wore an old white dress. Arthur held flowers from his garden. He placed a ring on my finger. I will care for you always, he promised. I whispered, I will try. And just like that, my life changed. Arthur's home was warm and quiet. It smelled like books and flowers. He gave me space. He never demanded anything. Every morning he made tea. Every evening we sat quietly together. Slowly, the house began to feel like home. Slowly, my heart began to heal. Weeks passed. We talked more. We laughed sometimes. He gave me books. He showed me his garden. And one night, under the stars, I realized something shocking. This wasn't just help anymore. Something real was growing. Not fast, not loud, but gentle, like flowers opening slowly in spring. One evening, Arthur asked softly, "Are you happy, Emma?" I looked at him for a long moment. Then I said honestly, "I married you for safety, but now I stay because I want to." His eyes filled with emotion. He leaned closer, and for the first time, we kissed. Not out of need, not out of money, but out of love. What started as survival became healing. What started as loneliness became home. Sometimes love comes quietly. Sometimes kindness is the beginning of everything. And sometimes the person who saves you becomes the person you truly love.